What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this Thursday afternoon? Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic day. We got Joel. We got a demigod here in the chat. Appreciate you guys here for tuning in. Jesus, I see you up there as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't done so already, do me a huge favor. Smack up that like button on your way in. Huge shout out to the sponsors here of the show, Underdog Fantasy, as well as FOCO. All the information will be in the description below. Today, you read it. We're going to talk about free agency, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we have officially made it into February, which marks about a month and a half away from free agency frenzy and the start of the new year. And I'm absolutely super excited to talk about who can we potentially bring in to make our team better. So let's get started here, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, let's do this first. A couple things I want to talk about before we do have a new sponsor chiming into the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, and that is none other than Desert Diamond Sports. Now, yes, Desert Diamond is a casino here in the local area. Us here at the AZ Sports Fan and them partner together to try to get another sponsorship here going on. So if you guys do like to gamble on, NFL, NBA, anything like that, we do have a new sponsor here in Desert Diamond Sports. If you do want to go ahead and download the app today, that will also be in the description below as well. But man, you can do absolutely everything here on Desert Diamond Sports. You can jump on to the desktop, just Google Desert Diamond Sports, or actually get you a very convenient app, and you should be able to go ahead and place any bet you possibly can. Now, we are working on a way for us to make a bet, and you copy that bet specifically for my bets if we want to kind of like follow along. But it's pretty cool. You can just kind of jump on here right now. Obviously, NFL is basically our bread and butter here. You can do anything pertaining to obviously the money line, point spread. You could even do what are we talking about here? Sacks, anything like that, any punting, who's going to score the first touchdown, stuff like that. So if you guys are absolutely interested, go ahead and check out desertdiamondsports.com or download the app. In the description, you will see a very nice clickable link for you to go ahead and download the app. Make sure you click on that link so we can go ahead and make sure that they know that we sent you here from the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. So let's get started here. Let's get started on the show. Appreciate you guys for allowing me to obviously give my spiel. And then let's get started here and talk about what we're all here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about free agency. But actually, one thing, I'm sorry, I said free agency early, but let me talk about one thing here. One thing I'm a little worried about, I'm not sure if you guys are worried about this, but I just noticed that Budda Baker's contract, this is his last year. Now, I know that there was this whole situation going on with Budda Baker with obviously him wanting to get an extension. Now, the Arizona Cardinals did provide him a pay raise, but the Arizona Cardinals didn't extend him per se. So there is a little concern. Please keep in mind that I don't want anybody to panic, but I just looked into this probably over a week ago, and I was not able to provide you guys this information here. But Budda Baker's last year is 2024, and he does not have any guaranteed salary. So definitely something to keep your eyes on. Obviously, I think most people want Budda Baker to remain a Arizona Cardinal. So we got to keep our eyes peeled on that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Budda Baker stays in Arizona Cardinal. But other than that, all right, let's dive into free agency frenzy. I think that's what we're all kind of here for. As of right now, we are sitting about a month and a half away, maybe a little less about than a month and a half away from the opening of free agency. And if you guys don't know what that is, basically that is when the new turnover year starts and the Cardinals can look to get a potential game changer. Now, as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals are standing at $42 million pertaining to the cap. Now, that can fluctuate, and I wanted to make sure that I'm very, very specific, and I've said this multiple different times. We're around $42 to $45 million right now. Now, if you take a look at a couple different third-party websites, we're kind of floating around the idea for 42, 45 around there, but we can open up more space because, we might want to be spenders this year, right? Especially if you want to go ahead and compete with a team like the Seahawks, compete with a team like the 49ers and then the Rams as well. If we want to stay relevant in the NFC West, you got to go ahead and make sure that we put money out there. And in the grand scheme of things, the Arizona Cardinals can be better. We just need to go out there and get the hopefully one or two good pieces from free agency. So we do got money to spend. Right now, it is sitting around $42 million, and hopefully with us doing maybe some restructuring of contracts with players that we currently have, maybe some cuts. We're going to open up some more cap space, but we're going to talk about what we have right now. And obviously as the story or as everything kind of trickles on, we'll dive into that and obviously address it then. So let's talk about best fits for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, take a look at the roster right now for the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals roster is rough. It's absolutely rough. I don't know if there's any other team that's going to have a big turnover like the Arizona Cardinals will this next coming year. Now, maybe you can kind of throw the Texans out there, which should have been, they should have been kind of in the realm that we were, right? But let's go ahead and do a real quick sharing of the screen so you guys can kind of take a look to see who we have on our roster in terms of like our depth chart. You're going to be surprised that most of these guys on this list, they're probably not going to be here. They're probably not going to be here next year, right? Obviously, our starters, you're going to get Kyler, James Conner, Michael Wilson, Rondell Moore, Trey McBride, Paris Johnson Jr., those guys back. But if you take a look at the rest of the list here, man, we got a lot of people like Zach Pascal, Caden Davis, Elijah Higgins, Carter O'Donnell, Froholt, although I feel like he definitely has done good for us. He wasn't great, right? He was serviceable, but he wasn't great. You're also looking at people like who else is out here? Joey Blunt, Victor Demicheji. Now, some of them still might be on their rookie deal, but like we might see a lot of turnover when we're looking at this roster here for the Arizona Cardinals. So it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting to figure out what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do heading into this year's free agency class. Because yes, we have $42 million with the hope of opening up more space, but that money can go really quickly if the Arizona Cardinals don't make the right moves. And that is something that Monty Austin-Fort is going to need to do, right? Him as well as the rest of the regime here. They need to be able to hit these free agents that are coming onto the Arizona Cardinals and make sure they are good. Make sure they are good, because we've been victims of getting people on big deals and they haven't been good for the Cardinals. So we got to make sure that we go out here and hit these picks, right? Obviously, they're free agents; they're not draft picks, but still, we still got to go out here and hit these free agents and make sure they work out here for the Arizona Cardinals, right? Somebody along the lines like Kazir White, where nobody really kind of knew that he was good until he showed up on the field, and everybody was really excited about Kazir White. That's the kind of players that we might be seeing for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. But that doesn't mean the Cardinals aren't going to come out here and spend, or at least I hope they come out here and spend, because like I said earlier, if you want to compete with a 49ers and Rams and what's the other Seahawks, you're going to need to have some really good talented players. And right now the roster has so many holes. It's ridiculous, super ridiculous. So let's take a look here, or let's focus on what big holes we have right now on this roster, right? We took a look at the roster. We all know where we're at right now. It's pretty bad. So the Cardinals have holes in the offensive line, the defensive line, cornerback, right? Now, obviously, you can also have a notable, you could also say the middle linebacker, right? Opposite side of Kazir White. Yes, we can throw that in there right now. But one thing I want the Arizona Cardinals to absolutely focus on is on those three positions: cornerback, offensive line, and defensive line. Defensive line, edge, interior defensive line, anything, right? For the offensive line, guard, center, and maybe right tackle, because I'm hoping that they move Paris to the left. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And if he doesn't, then left tackle, right? Especially because DJ Humphries, we don't know the status. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with DJ Humphries moving forward. So those are the three positions I feel like the Cardinals really need to address in this year's offseason. Now, let's take a look at some potential free agents heading into this year's 2024 class. Now, there is a lot of big names on here. A lot of big names. Now, yes, although you've most likely heard multiple people, rave and excited that, Cardinals have a lot of money, I think right now we are the 10th in terms of the highest cap space. We're not the highest. I believe it's the Washington Commanders with like 70 plus million. So they got a lot of money to spend. The Cardinals have 42 with the opportunity to open up some more space, but we're not the highest out there. So just be fully aware of that. But look at some of these names on here. Now, please keep in mind, these are potential free agents. They can get signed up back with the respected team. We don't know right now, right? But right now they are in the fringe of being free agents in 2024 unless something happens otherwise. So like Chris Jones from Kansas City, Kirk Cousins, right? We're not in a market to get a QB, so we're not going to worry about that. Josh Allen, T. Higgins, Brian Burns, right? Justin Matabuke, right? Christian Wilkins, right? Antoine Winfield, Jalen Johnson, right? There's some really, really big names. L'Jarius Sneed from the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Michael Pittman. You got some really, really big names on here. Now, I'm not saying the Arizona Cardinals need to come on and absolutely, spend all their money crazy. No, I'm not saying that, but I really would love the Arizona Cardinals to go after one or two of these big names. Now, I get it, $42 million seems like a lot to the average person, but when we're talking about NFL money, that can get dried up really, really quickly. So a couple names that I would love the Arizona Cardinals to target, and you guys get involved here in the chat as well. If there's somebody that you like here on this, on this list, definitely let me know here in the chat below as well, and we can kind of dissect that together. So let's look here in terms of what I feel like the Arizona Cardinals should do. So interior defensive line is an absolute big need for the Cardinals, an absolute big need. Now, the Cardinals can either go Chris Jones, which I don't see happening. He might sign right back with the Chiefs if he was smart, or he might go with another team that has a lot more money than the Cardinals do. And I think right now there's about 9 teams that have more than the Cardinals do, right? So maybe the Cardinals can go after for example, a Justin Matabuke, right, from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this man right here, very, very good. Very, very good. If you're looking for an interior defensive line that's going to always kind of wreak havoc with whatever reason, right? You're looking at this guy right here. Very, very good. I like what I've seen from him, and definitely a guy that can go absolutely after. Now, obviously, edge is another position the Cardinals can go after. You can kind of take the pick of your choosing, right? Whether it's Josh Allen, the pass rusher from Jacksonville, Brian Burns from Carolina. There's another one here that I really, really like. I forgot I think it's Bryce Huff from the Jets. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's here somewhere. Where is he at? Okay, he's probably not on the top, but he's here somewhere. But yeah, Bryce Huff, I believe is his name, from the Jets. Really, really like him as well. I think he had about 10 sacks this year. So definitely a guy the Cardinals could potentially go after, especially if they don't want to go after that big name out there. Because after Nick Bosa got paid, man, Nick Bosa's getting paid so much money, and I get it. Some of these guys aren't Nick Bosa, but sometimes you have to pay what market entails, right? And last time I looked, some of these pass rushers are getting paid like $25 to $30 million a year. So the Cardinals, if they're going to go after a huge name, you got to be very, very wary about where the market is. Now, like I said, a lot of them aren't Nick Bosa, but you're going to be having to shell out a lot of money for a big name like that, right? Like a Josh Allen, a Brian Burns, somebody along those lines. So Matabuke, I really do like him as an interior defensive line. If they do go Josh Allen or they go Brian Burns, obviously I wouldn't be mad at it. I would love the idea. But if the Cardinals are looking for more of I guess a team friendlier deal, maybe Bryce Huff out of the Jets. Here we go. 18 on PFF's list, Bryce Huff from the Jets. And I think he had 10 sacks this year. So, obviously the Jets defense had some flashes here and there, but this guy is I believe a mid-round pick. He wasn't picked up in the first round. I know that for sure, but definitely a guy that's very, very, respected within the Jets organization, and a guy that most likely will probably be cheaper than for example, a Brian Burns or a Josh Allen for sure. So we'll see what happens there. Another guy that I feel like the Arizona Cardinals should obviously go after, I think cornerback. The Cardinals need to go after a cornerback in free agency. Now, the Cardinals can go after a cornerback in the draft as well. But like I said earlier, we got so many holes, man. So many holes. It's not even funny. But our cornerback position right now is sitting at our best cornerback being Antonio Hamilton, right? I guess if you want to throw him in there, because after Antonio Hamilton, we got Garrett Williams. Now, Garrett Williams was a 3rd-round pick for the Arizona Cardinals. He's shown some flashes. The biggest knock on Garrett Williams is, can he stay healthy, right? That's the biggest knock. Now, honestly, Garrett Williams got his first interception in his very first game. I think a lot of us were really excited about that. But since he came back, or I guess before he came back, he still missed like 6 to 8 games this year. So it's a pretty big deal. But after him, Starling Thomas, the fifth, Starling Thomas has shown flashes for the Arizona Cardinals, but I don't think any of us feel completely 100% confident with if the Cardinals decide to bring in Antonio Hamilton back. Garrett Williams that has some injury concerns, and then we got a guy that we got off of waivers with Starling Thomas the fifth. So the Cardinals absolutely need to address the position. And honestly, I think the creme de la creme when you're thinking about the cornerbacks in this free agency class. Now, like I said earlier, the Bears can still retain him. So I want to make sure everybody's fully aware. But this guy right here is going to be the creme de la creme when you're talking about the best free agency or free agent in this year's class. I do like him as well. I think he's a definitely a really good pickup if the Cardinals do choose to go after him. He's 24 years old, ladies and gentlemen, 6 foot, 196 pounds, was picked up in the second round back in 2020. 31 solo tackles this year, 1 forced fumble, and 4 interceptions. Not huge numbers, not numbers that's going to, come out here and explode, but still a guy the Cardinals can bring in here as a veteran. Now, like I said earlier, he's still very young. He's still very, very young, but he's still seen as a veteran though. He's 24. He was picked up in 2020. He's got what? This would be his 4th year. So, he's still a veteran. He's young, but he's still a veteran, right? He's still got some time under his belt. So definitely that would be one of the best pickups if the Cardinals were to choose to do that. Now, I get it. $42 million ain't a lot of money when you're thinking of the NFL, right? When you're thinking of picking these big players. If the Cardinals don't go for a Jalen Johnson, which, you still have the option of maybe getting a cornerback, L'Jarius Sneed, out of Kansas City. So those are some potential guys to go after if you're looking at the cornerback position in this year's free agency class. Now, obviously, if the Cardinals want to go after maybe a lower tier, and I'm not saying lower tier like worse, like a crap player, but I'm saying a guy that like his value is a lot less, right? Because Jalen Johnson and then Snead is probably going to go for a hefty penny. So it's going to be expensive, but the Cardinals do need to make a decision. Now, like I said earlier, $42 million. We still need to pay the rookies that we got. And on top of that, we're still going to need to hopefully worry about who else we got to pay with that $42 million. So on the cap, hopefully we end some more. Hopefully we alleviate some more money moving forward. So that's going to be, so we talked about cornerback. We talked about the interior defensive line. Now, I'm not giving you guys these names to say the Cardinals need to go after all these guys. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Cardinals need to go at least after 1 or 2 of these guys. And if they want to fill up the rest of the roster with other people, I'm cool with that. But as long as we can land one of these guys that I'm mentioning or 2 of these guys that I'm mentioning, I feel like that's a W for this free agency, or I'm sorry, this offseason for the Cardinals is what I'm basically saying. So wide receiver. Let's talk about wide receiver. Let's talk about a little bit more of a, I guess, splashy, right? A splashy position. Free agency for wide receiver. Yo, there's some good names in this free agency class. Michael Pittman. What? Now, I think he might stay. Most likely he might stay with the Colts. But if he tests the market, I can foresee this man get a good amount of money. Now, a guy that I really like is T. Higgins. Now, I mentioned this before on multiple videos that I've done, right? T. Higgins is a guy that stands out, big, prototypical wide receiver that I really feel like the Arizona Cardinals need to make a decision on what we're going to do with our wide receiving core, right? We've done small, speedy wide receivers for so long that I'm kind of not annoyed, but kind of annoyed with it. The Cardinals need to go in a different direction. We need to go with that big body, contested catch wide receiver. And T. Higgins last year, his stats are 656 yards, 5 touchdowns, averages 15.6 yards a catch. And I want that production. I would love that production to be in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. Prototypical wide receiver. If he can stay healthy, I feel like he's a very, very good asset to bring into the Arizona Cardinal uniform. Now, he's still 25 years old. He's young. I believe when he was drafted, he was like 21. He was young, absolutely young. So just a guy that has a lot of experience already in the NFL in his short career, but he's looking to get a big payday in this year's free agency class. So that's a guy that I would really like. Now, another name that kind of gets thrown out there as well is Mike Evans. I don't know if the Cardinals will go after Mike Evans. I like Mike Evans. I think he's a really, really, really good wide receiver. And regardless of his age, I still think that he's a really good wide receiver. I don't know if the Cardinals will go that route. Now, on this list, number 17 will probably surprise you in terms of free agency. 17 is marked with Marquise Hollywood Brown, a former receiver of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm saying former because right now we haven't signed him to a contract. Now, can the Cardinals sign him to a contract still? Yes, they can, right? Would I be mad at it? I won't be mad at if we sign Marquise Hollywood Brown as long as it's a deal that I can say, okay, right? It's more of a prove it deal more than anything. Now, obviously, the market is the market, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm looking for a big body wide receiver at the end of the day. I'm not sure if I'm fully convinced that Marquise will be an Arizona Cardinal. The only thing that I can say is that he's buddies with Kyler Murray, and that's really kind of the only thing that worries me is that if Kyler Murray wants him back and he talks to Monty, that might be where there might be a push for a Marquise to come back as an Arizona Cardinal. I don't want it, but if he does, okay, please stay healthy and hopefully you can produce for us in a level that we haven't seen, right, so far. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But Marquise Hollywood Brown is listed as top 20 free agents in this class. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. But we'll have to kind of wait and see how it all shakes out here. Now, other wide receivers that are hitting this year's free agency market as well. You have a wide receiver like Calvin Ridley. Now, Calvin Ridley, I feel like was really good with the Atlanta Falcons, I believe is what he was. And obviously he got in trouble off the field. There was a suspension. Jacksonville ended up picking him up. And I feel like he was decent. I don't think he was like dog water and I don't think he was great, but I think it was very, very serviceable for a wide receiver that's been missing that much time, right? In the what am I trying to say? I'm sorry. Time away from football is what I'm trying to say. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, a couple other cornerbacks here that might hit the free agency market. Steven Nelson out of Houston. And these are going to be, I guess, lower, cheaper options. If they don't want to go the Jalen Johnson route, you can also go Stephon Gilmore. Now, if the Cardinals go Stephon Gilmore, man, I've been talking about Stephon Gilmore since 3 or 4 years ago. There was an option or an opportunity for the Cardinals to go after him via trade, and we just never did it, and that was very disappointing. But he's also set to hit the free agency market as well. And there's just some crazy names, y'all. There's some crazy names. Now, the running back position, you got Saquon, you got Josh Jacobs, you got Derrick Henry that's probably going to hit this open market. I don't think the Cardinals are going to go after those big names in terms of running backs, but it's just so crazy to see those type of big caliber names going to a brand new team. It's just nuts. It's nuts. So this free agency frenzy is going to be wild. It's going to be really cool. I'm super excited about it. We'll have to kind of wait and see just how it all shakes out. But fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Now, in terms of offensive line, I get it. Offensive line isn't pretty, isn't flashy. But if the Cardinals do go this route, what I would like the Arizona Cardinals to focus on is obviously the interior of the offensive line. A couple names to kind of throw out there is one of them being Robert Hunt. He is a guard. He spent his time with the Miami Dolphins. He's probably going to look for a long-term deal. He was hurt this last year off and on with a hamstring issue, but he's been really good for the Miami Dolphins, maybe other than just this year, just because of the injury concerns. But Robert Hunt is a guy that I really like. But if the Cardinals are looking for maybe more of a 1-year deal, 2-year deal type of guy, you can go, I believe his name is Kevin Zeitler from the Ravens. So there's names, y'all. There's names galore. All I can say right now is this offense is going to look night and day different. This defense is going to look night and day different. So there's a lot of names out there that can really, really upgrade this Arizona Cardinal roster just like that, right? Just like that. So whether it's the cornerback position, offensive line, defensive line, edge, or the interior, man, this team's going to look really, really deadly. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's see. We got somebody in the chat saying Trent Brown. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind Trent Brown if the Cardinals did go after a Trent Brown. But when you're looking at Trent Brown, he is going to be a guy that is going to covet a big deal. And I mean long-term deal. If that's what the Cardinals want to do, we got to realize as well that Trent Brown, well, actually maybe not. I mean, Trent Brown is 30. He's 30. I thought he was younger than that. Yeah, he's 30. I mean, maybe the Cardinals go that route. Yeah, he's 6'8", 370 pounds, 30 years old. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Cardinals do go that route. Maybe he might be a 1 or 2 year guy. I mean, he can stay healthy, and if he still has it, maybe the Cardinals can very well benefit from him. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take a look here at the chat. We got Mike saying, I think we take Harrison Jr. at 4. At 27, we take an offensive tackle. That is the dream. That is the dream. I think a guy that I really, really like for that 27th overall spot, because I agree. I think for the most part, everybody can consensus be in the same realm, right? I think for the most part, everybody can be in the consensus. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there at 4, you take Marvin Harrison Jr., right? It's just, I think it's consensus. For the 27th overall, a couple guys you can go after. I like Tyler Guyton. If the Cardinals did want to go in that position, he is set to be maybe a guy that's going to go in the later part of the first round. Maybe the Cardinals can go that route. Or another player that one of my subscribers actually put me on, and now that I watched him, I'm like, okay, yeah. I do like the idea of Jordan Morgan. 22 years old, probably going to be a first round pick as well. So the Cardinals wanted to go that route. I wouldn't be mad at that either, because DJ Humphries being unknown is a little worrisome. We don't know. We don't know if DJ Humphries is going to be ready for 2023, right? And I'm tired. I'm tired of the excuses. What I would like is the Cardinals to really have a plan with DJ Humphries. Are we keeping him? Are we not keeping him? Right? We should know this hopefully by March, because we need to figure out, can we open up some more cap space by restructuring his deal, or are the Cardinals just going to trade him away? Now, obviously, his value has really, really took a hit with his injury, but left tackles don't grow on trees. Left tackles don't grow on trees. So if the Cardinals do decide to trade him away, it could help the Cardinals in the long run, because now we can start focusing on maybe getting maybe like a Tyler Guyton in the 27th overall, or maybe a Jordan Morgan for from the University of Arizona. So we'll see. We'll see. Did I say 2023? I apologize. 2024. I don't even know what year this is anymore. 2024. I apologize if I said 2023. It happens sometimes. I didn't even know. I had to Google. Once we hit January, I had to Google what year we were in, because I'm so lost. Yeah, 2024. If I said 2023, I apologize. 2024. Let's see here. Let's keep it going here with the chat. We got Junior. Junior says, Austin, yeah, if we only had Hollywood and not Wilson too, I think they would go for it and still possibly draft Marvin. Honestly, what I would like the Cardinals to do, even if we draft or even if we get a free agent and wide receiver, you still got to go Marvin Harrison Jr. regardless. I don't think even if we get a wide receiver in free agency, that shouldn't sway away the Cardinals from getting a Marvin Harrison Jr. or even a Malik Neighbors if they feel like he is number one in their draft board, right? If the Cardinals do go someone like that, or maybe a Roma Dunze, right? Now in the 27th overall, Roma Dunze won't be available there, right? Obviously, Malik Neighbors won't be there at the 27th overall. Heck, Marvin Harrison Jr. won't be there, obviously won't be at the 27th overall spot. And we're fully aware of that. What I'm saying is that the Cardinals need to make a decision. And I hope the Cardinals still go wide receiver if they feel like that is the route to go, regardless if they go wide receiver in free agency. Regardless, if it's not T. Higgins, okay, no worries. That's fine. If they do bring in a lower tier wide receiver in terms of a cheaper one, that's cool too. I mean, that's fine, but you still need to address it, because you need to address getting Marvin Harrison Jr. if he falls to you. It's just kind of the way that I like to look at it. It's not one of those things where, oh, we got one in free agency. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. He's there, you get him. That's it. As simple as that. As simple as that. We got my guy Yamaha Life says, Mike, shout out, brother. What's up, man? Appreciate you, Yamaha Life. Thank you so much for being here. Let's read a couple more comments, and then we'll go ahead and close up shop. We only want to do like a 30-minute segment, talk about obviously free agents, and I wanted to kind of get you guys involved here in the chat as well. So let's go with Austin. Austin says, I'd rather get Connor. Oh, sorry. My bad. I'd rather get a corner in free agency or help that D line. Don't rely on drafting to help with the defensive line this year. Everyone is just okay with me. Okay, that's fair. Corner, I agree with you. I agree with you with corner. It's so hard for a young cornerback first year to have a big impact. It's just the way that it is. Cornerback is such a hard position to play. So if the Cardinals do go corner, maybe use that second round pick. If one falls to them with that 27th overall, cool. That's fine. If they really love somebody and they want to take them, okay. But the fourth overall, and even if we trade back that fourth overall, cornerback is such a hard position to master that I 100% agree with you. Corner, I'm cool with addressing in free agency. Now, interior defensive line, Justin Matabuke, I really do like. And there's some really good edge players, coming out of this year's free agency class. So for the defensive line, I wouldn't be mad if we addressed it at both, to be honest with you. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I 100% agree with you with corner. Corner is such a hard position for a rookie cornerback to come in and make an automatic impact. We've seen Patrick Peterson struggle. And I get it. A lot of people don't like to talk about Patrick Peterson, but I like Patrick Peterson still. I have no issue with them. One of the best players that we've drafted in terms of superstar guys that we've had in the first round. Patrick Peterson struggled in this first year, but obviously he became what he became. And that's kind of really hard to get in the first year. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Let's keep it with the chat. My son says, bring JJ Watt back and we'll make championship mode next season. Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I'm glad that's, it gives me a chuckle. That's cool. I like JJ Watt. I truly do. I think JJ Watt he's done, man. He's hanging up the cleats. I think he's enjoying his time being an analyst, and I think he should just enjoy it, honestly. JJ Watt did great for us, truly. But in the grand scheme of things, we need to go younger. Somebody in the chat says, report said that they're going heavy on D-line. Well, they should. They should go heavy. Heck yeah. Well, we said that earlier, right? The Cardinals should. The Cardinals need to do defensive line, offensive line, and cornerback. Like, that's the focus. That's what should be the focus for the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, we have other holes, but those three should be the absolute focus. Offensive line, defensive line, and cornerback. Those are the absolute focus for the Cardinals. And I'm looking for a guy, maybe one or two guys that is automatically going to upgrade one of those three positions. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully the Cardinals can make us all happy. We'll see. I think they have to go wide receiver at 4. Hollywood is okay, but he's not a number 1. Well, Hollywood's not a Cardinal right now. Hollywood's a free agent. Unless the Cardinals decide to bring him back, right now Hollywood is not an Arizona Cardinal. So right now our wide receiving core stands as Rondo Moore, Michael Wilson, and I believe Zach Pascal has one more year, but I mean, they can still cut him. I don't 100% know. Greg Dortch is a free agent. I hope they bring him back. But like our wide receiving core ain't very hot. It ain't very hot. So we need to address it big time. 100%. Silver, what's up, Silver? Says free agency will be the same as last offseason, focusing on role players. This team is still trying to find a team, trying to field a team of competent NFL players. Keim killed this team with horrible drafts. I hope you're wrong. And I think I remember commenting right back to you, Silver. And obviously it was more just kind of like it wasn't like one of those disrespectful things. That's why I put that laugh out loud out there. But I hope not. I truly hope not. I hope that's not how the Cardinals are going to play this next year, because there is absolutely no reason for the Arizona Cardinals to not try to compete. We've already had a year where we ate a lot of dead money, right? And I agree there's still some more dead money that the Cardinals are going to eat this year as well. But there's absolutely no reason for the Cardinals to be rolling with the franchise quarterback and not put him in a position to try to win. They need to go after this and try to compete at the bottom line. I would be absolutely frustrated if the Arizona Cardinals do not do anything to the point of trying to make themselves better. The Cardinals are on serious struggles for any viewership right now. I don't know if you guys know, if you guys were a past season ticket holder, but I ended up getting a call from him, and they told me that they're making a big push to try to get these season tickets sold because they need it. They need it. The Cardinals right now are on an all-time low. You want to make people happy? You want to make people happy about your football team? You got to bring players in. You got to compete. I hope we don't see another year like we saw this last year, because I will not be happy with that. I truly won't. I truly won't. Mike Evans, what's up, brother? Appreciate the contribution. He says, we all need a little help. That's fair. that's fair. That's fair. Appreciate the super chat, Mike Evans. Thank you so very much, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Well, I hope we don't do that. I hope we don't do that. The Cardinals need to go after guys that are going to make them automatically upgrade a position. I know we have a lot of holes. I get it. But we can only use the excuse of Steve Keim destroyed this roster. We can't use that anymore. Did you not see what the Houston Texans just did? The Houston Texans had a roster very similar to ours on paper, and they succeeded. They were in the playoffs. We won't let it slide. I won't let it slide. It's not okay. We got to go out here and put a good team to compete in 2024. That's all I got to say about that. I'll shut it down. Let's read one more comment, and we're gonna close up shop. Appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. If you guys haven't already, smack the like button. Definitely do me a huge favor. Smack up that like button. We are trying to do more live streams. Last year we were live streaming galore. It's just this last year with 2023, it's really hard to be on a camera and talk about this team, where it's just we try to look for moral victories year in and year out, but we're going to bring these live streams back. If you guys truly do enjoy them, definitely smack the like button. It's an opportunity for Cardinal fans to come together and we can all have a conversation amongst each other. So definitely let me know in the like button if you guys are truly enjoying these live streams that we did. I think we're like doing we did 3 in a row so far. Let me know here in the chat if you truly did like them by smacking that like button, or let me know here in the chat. If you're rewatching it, let me know in the comments below. But smack up that like button if you truly do enjoy these live streams. All right, one more comment and we're going to close up shop here, ladies and gentlemen. One more comment. Let's go with U58. He says, have you looked at Brian Thomas or AD Mitchell? Those guys, those are guys we could target if we miss out on Marv. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. So, yes, I have. To me, this is what I feel like the Arizona Cardinals need to do. The Cardinals need to go away with one of these 3 guys. If the Cardinals double dip and get Brian Thomas or AD Mitchell with the 2nd round, or maybe if they fall to the 3rd, or maybe the Cardinals trade up for maybe getting one of these guys, that's fine. But I do not want the Cardinals to leave this draft with either of these 3 players. We got to get Marv, we got to get Malik Neighbors, or we got to get Rome Odunze. We need to get one of those 3 guys. And I get it. We also do need, right, a Joe Alt, and we need an Olu Fashanu, right? Well, we need everything. I get it. But I think it's very important to put Kyler Murray in a position to succeed. Get him weapons. You got to get him weapons. And then with the offensive line, we can address it with the 27th overall. If they feel like they want to trade up to get somebody else, they can do that. We have the 35th overall as well. The Cardinals can be in a good position. We just need to make sure that we get one of those 3 guys, in my opinion. Marv, Malik Neighbors, or Rome Odunze. I feel like they can automatically be number 1s like that. Obviously, Marv being the highest. And then I like Rome Odunze next because of the height. And then Malik Neighbors. But whoever we get, I'm down. Whoever we get, I'm down. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm not sure if you guys, if you guys don't, no worries. That's completely fine. All right, y'all. We're going to close up shop. We just went ahead and talked about best free agency fits. We kind of threw a lot of names out there. So if you guys just joined in, definitely go ahead and do a rewatch. And if you guys agree with me, cool. Let me know here in the comments below. If not, if there is a name that, you know, is thrown out there, let me know here in the comments below. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not saying the Arizona Cardinals need to get all 10 of these guys that I named off. I get it. We have $42 million, and that will go like this. The Cardinals need to get 1 or 2 of these names that I listed. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If they don't, okay, no worries. But still, as long as you address the 3 positions that I talked about, the Cardinals will be in a good position moving forward. So we are going to close up shop here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as always, it's been an absolute everybody. Y'all have a great rest of your day as always. Go Cards.